In just a second, I'm going to talk about our travel journal kit. So we're going to have a little kit on the go, and I'm just going to show a few containers. And these are just things that I have. I got this in Egypt. I don't ever use it. Just I don't know. It doesn't really fit a lot, but it's so cute. And I used to travel. I would put everything in my main stuff in this little Barbie case. You know, my stamped letters went in here. You know, my sanding block, favorite pens, and some of my tapes. And that would be the case that I would have in my carry-on the plane, or even, you know, a purse. You know, maybe there's little cute bags that you put stuff in. For some reason, I think this is the one I travel with now, and I think because it's a little bit bigger and it's kind of cushioned and it can get flatter. Like this is, you know, this sort of takes up a lot of space compared to this. And this actually sometimes fits a little book, and then I can put this in. So we're thinking of how we're going to pack our stuff up. And we've got two modes of expression. One, we need our stuff for the studio, and that's probably going to go in your checked baggage. And then a smaller case that maybe goes in your carry-on or your purse, so that you can take notes, maybe do some sketches, glue in your plane tickets as you go, and make notes. Book or a sketchbook, however you're going to collect that. Cute little pencil boxes. And I have to say, these little containers like this, I don't really like them because I can't see what's in them. I almost feel like a plastic baggie is better because then I can see what I have. That's why I like these. I can open them and see what I have. All right, packing it up. So I have this big case here that's just full of little baggies. On the plane, you can only have a quart bag, you know, something like this size. And then what you're going to want to do if you bring paints, whether they're these or these, you need to wrap them up well because they can explode. Even these can explode in your suitcase. So what I do, and I just use masking tape so that it comes off easily. So I kind of wrap that around him. Wrap him around, get it on. I'm gonna wrap. I'm gonna wrap around. Kind of go like that. Get it on there. And you could do another one too. These ones are just a little bit more notorious. These aren't so bad about coming open. But we'll do just a little bit like this. And then I put everything, I label acrylic paint, non-toxic for artists. Okay. I just don't want to get my stuff pulled out. And with these, you know, I'm going to glue stick, like let's say this is in my carry-on. And then I do as much as will fit in here and then seal it closed. But let's say I'm going on the plane, and let's say these are all taped. They're all taped, you know, as many as can fit. If I can fit one here, okay. Get them in. Get this in here. And then I'm going to double bag it. So that's going to go in here. And in another bag. So it might seem like a lot, but if you have ever had a paint bottle explode in your suitcase, you're going to know why I'm doing this. You know, and then kind of everything maybe goes into a bigger bag or a grocery bag. Another thing about collage, your alchemy bag is not your collage. Your collage is your private stuff. The alchemy bag can just go in a paper bag or a grocery bag, and it can be this much stuff. It doesn't have to be very much. You don't have to fill the whole bag. You put it in the bottom, say, wrap it up, and maybe tape it and say, okay, that's my alchemy bag. So you're not required to bring, you know, a shitload of stuff. just, you know, a handful of items. Okay, so that's packing it up, and everything, you know, if I, sometimes I tape it. We can see I used to tape it. You can use rubber bands. I put rubber bands around this, rubber bands on this. Even the stuff that I'm just going to be taking in the car, I put a rubber band on it, because if I pull it out and I drop it, same thing with my rubber stamps. When I put this top on, I'll have a rubber band. I used to travel a lot with my art supplies, so that's why I have all of these baggies collected, you know, all different sizes. Oh, that's what I do with these. Some of them just, I'll do like their own bag. Maybe it doesn't fit. But so I have some little ones. And then I have my rubber bands all in here. Those are out here in my studio. And then everything gets rubber banded. Everything gets put in a container. And everything is sealed up.